Hello, welcome to our little video times. Last video that I did was about yin and yang and the 4 laws of yin and yang. Today I want to talk about the imbalances of yin and yang, which are yin excess, yang excess, yin deficiency, and yin deficiency. And then, of course, yin yang balance, which we all, I think, aspire to be. In a sense, that means health, balanced and healthy. Okay, so just to review the 4 laws of yin and yang, 1 being opposition, 2 being interdependence, 3 being mutual consumption, and 4 being intertransformational. We talked about, again, those laws in the last video, so if you missed out on that video, I'd ask that you go back and watch that. So I just want to talk about the yin excess, the yang excess, the yin deficiency, and the yang deficiency. These are the imbalanced signs of yin and yang. So if yin and yang are out of balance, normally it will be one of these signs, according to the cardinal signs, okay? So what we're going to be talking about are signs and symptoms, red flags for each condition. So first we'll talk about yin excess. So a yin excess and certain cardinal signs would include cold and dampness, edema, sleepy, sluggish, almost a little heavy feeling, but not fatigued, just sleepy and sluggy. Loose stool, no smell, pale, profusing urine, no thirst whatsoever. Pain, sharp and stiff. So if you feel in your body pain, sharpness, or stiff, then this is a sign of yin excess. Warm helps, but the sign and symptoms are worse with pressure or cold and damp. So these are other cardinal signs. For people practicing Chinese medicine, understanding the yin excess and doing tongue and pulse diagnostics, we would be looking for a tight or slow pulse would appear and show us in the certain organs, depending on the organ that's related with the pulse. The tongue will be pale, moist, thick white coat, and also sometimes you'll see a blue line that comes down in the center. That's for someone that's really in a yin excess kind of area. Not always does these show, okay? So a yang excess will be worse with pressure. So yang excess, let's talk about the cardinal signs here. Hot, full body, especially during the day. So always hot, full red face, feeling full, red heat, right? So yang is masculine, is heat, is hot. So full and hot, especially in the face, coming upwards. Dryness is also another sign because the heat consumes and dries up all the fluids. Restlessness, always moving, like very yangy. You can't sit down, you can't relax, very restlessness, okay? The thirst is always thirsty and likes cold and big gulps. So it's just like you take this monstrous drink and you're drinking it like a dragon. And it's just like big. Your stool is going to be constipated, more scenty, maybe smelly. Dry, the heat dries up the fluid, so that's why you get the constipation, okay? The dark, scanty, it's going to be dark and scanty, maybe even black is definitely an area of stagnation, so more excess. Loud, breathing heavy, like, so this is very yangy, and it's a yang excess rather than a deficiency. Smelly, hyper, big, manic hyper, breathing like a dragon. So yang excess, too much yang. For people studying or practitioners, it's overflowing and a rapid pulse that we'll notice. Tongue will be dry, red, yellow, thick coat, and better with pressure. At the beginning I said worse with pressure, but worse with pressure is a yin excess, and a yang excess is better with pressure. So oftentimes if you have all these big loud signs, or you are a big loud person, and you have pain normally, and pressure makes it better, this is a sign of yang excess. Okay, so going into the cardinal signs of yin deficiency and yang deficiency. Yin deficiency is night sweating, exhaustion, fatigue, but that fatigueness is restlessness too. It's like you're so tired that you just can't sleep anyway. So this often leads into insomnia, frequent waking. So always constantly waking type of insomnia, not difficulty falling asleep, but always waking, or waking many times throughout the night, popping up. Thirst with small sips is a sign of yin deficiency. 5 center heat, so heat in the chest, and then the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. If you start to get heat there, or burning there, or even sweating there, it's a sign of yin deficiency. Restless mind, completely restless mind, constantly overthinking, just cannot get a break, and you feel exhausted. Okay, stool is constipated because it's a false heat. This false fire is trying to rule you. So you might see mallard flush too, the redness in the cheeks. So for practitioners, the tongue is red, little red, little body. Yin is small, right? So a lot of people who are very tiny are probably facing a yin deficiency constitution. So the tongue in itself would be small, thin, and red, shiny, no coat, and peeled. Pulse is thready and rapid. So yeah, in knowing if your body's more yin or yang, you can tell your shape. If you're very thin, then it's more yin. More bigger, thicker, it's more yang. Okay, so a yang deficiency signs are cold, hard to warm, cold to the bone. So it's like you're so cold that you feel this in your bones, and it's very hard for you to get warm. So this yang deficiency is this type of coldness, okay? There's a lot of pee. There's pee everywhere, clear. There's normally edema, loose stools, or oftentimes undigested food in the stool. We want our stool to be no undigested food, right? And we want it good formed. And after having a bowel movement, you normally feel worse. Like you feel drained. It just takes the life out of you. This is a yang deficiency. You have no energy. You have low libido. Depression also kicks in, and these people tend to be obese or overweight. Pain, the sensation of pain may be dull, achy, and cold. The tongue is swollen or puffy, wet, and the pulse is deep and slow. Now, any area of excess is going to be worse with pressure. So applying pressure, and it's worse. It's more of an excess case. Any areas of deficiency in applying pressure, and it's better with pressure, then it's more of a deficiency case. I just want to clear that up because I noticed in the video there's some confusion. My apologies. So excess is worse with pressure. Excess, worse with pressure. Deficiency, better with pressure. Okay, so these are some cardinal signs between yin and yang, and the excess and the deficiency, and how, as a Chinese practitioner, Chinese medicine practitioner, how we break down cases and how I can help a person become, in their wholeness, become back to balance. Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at moonlightmedicine.ca. Much love and much luck. Thank you for watching.